All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to introduce the next two washes in the series of 6, and they're titled the Plastic Wrap Wash and the Galaxy Wash. And these washes are both drop washes, which means you're going to pre-wet your paper, drop the color in it, and leave it. You're not going to do any tipping of your board or anything like that, which is really helpful because once we do these two paintings, you can revisit these two, which may still need a little bit of work. This is the perfect day to catch up on these two paintings and make adjustments as you wish, and kind of catch back up. So talking about the way this board's laid out, if you look at the whiteboard, I've got it laid out for you there as well, but we're actually gonna paint in these middle two open spots. The reason for that is that these washes, again, are drop washes. We're gonna pre-wet this, drop in color, and leave it alone. We're not doing any tipping of the board, so they don't run any which way. These two washes are gonna involve tipping, and we're actually gonna tip them outward or down away from the rest of the paintings. Makes a lot of sense. So you'll kind of notice that as the last two unfold. So I'm gonna be working here. I really don't care which spot you do the paintings, but I do wanna tell you, I'm gonna start with the plastic wrap wash. Just for kicks, it again doesn't really matter which order you do these in, and I think I'll just work in this corner right here. So kind of push that off side so that's centered. Off screen, I've got my water and paper towels and paint set here. Don't think I can scooch that over any farther, so you guys might not be able to see just off camera here my paint set. Okay, won't matter. If you pay attention, you'll kind of see what's happening. Here's the result of this painting. So when we pre-wet this, I'm gonna use my sponge brush, get this wet, take my mop, drop in a bunch of color, and then when it's all done, I'm gonna use a piece of plastic wrap and lay it on here. And there's different ways you can do that. You can get really attached, you can crunch it up, get some bubbles under there, all kinds of different things possible. And this particular painting of the 6 is gonna be the most abstract of all. Okay, so here's the result of this technique. Why do this? Well, it's one of many materials you can lay on top of a wet wash to leave and dry, remove that material, and it leaves these patterns. Artists use these in lots of different ways, particularly when it comes to contemporary or modern art, or just a unique spin and texture when you're using watercolor, okay? This particular painting started with a sponge brush, dropped in magentas, purples, a little bit of teal green, and then where the plastic was touching, it actually amplified the value or the darkness of those areas it was touching, and when it peeled back off, pulled a little bit of the pigment, and you get that result there of sort of a texture, okay? This can be rotated anyway before it's signed and turned in. And on occasions, I'll have students actually go in and modify this with more paint or Sharpie pen or white paint pens and turn it into things, or just do some abstract patterns on here. That is gonna be an option for you on this wash. Out of the 6, it's gonna be sort of the strangest looking one because it's not objective. It doesn't look like something, it just is. Okay, here's some other examples. This particular example, I've let dry, peeled off the plastic wrap the next day, and then spent some time because I finished the details and the trees in my other paintings with a Sharpie marker and just went into each of those touch points and put what I call a tile pattern, just simple hatches, move another direction, kind of tiled it in with those ink marks, and it really looks cool, okay? The ink brought this a little bit more alive. No, I'm not a Packers fan, but that happened to be my color palette. I like that, okay? So maybe you'll think of a unique medium tool, pencil, marker, Sharpie to bring this to life. Like I said, you could use paint. This is one I did a couple years ago. I was trying to go a little bit like camo with my colors and browns and greens and black. Turned out pretty cool, just is. Sometimes, like I said, students see things in there and so they illustrate it. Really love this effect. This one had a lot of connection to the plastic wrap was stuck to a lot of the painting. So, and then I moved it and pinched it into these pinch points, and it kind of has this crystal frosted look to it. Really, really happy with that one. Just another example. That texture is fantastic on that. So to get started, this demo is fairly quick. I'm just gonna move around, make sure all of my tape is down. Pre-wet this with my sponge. gonna kind of look at that from a different angle, give it a moment to soak in there. The gloss goes away because it's absorbed into the paper. And then I'll put another coat of water that sits on top and is ready to allow the drop to happen. It needs to look glossy for this to work. I'm gonna move to my mop brush and my palette. And I'm gonna go with a different color palette than I've used in a while, maybe some warm colors. This is gonna happen if you get enough water on there and your pigments are saturated. If they're dry in here, they're not gonna do this. Without tipping, we're just gonna let this sort of absorb and do its own thing. I'm just going to the corners. You guys do you, okay? Start in the middle. Got to give it time to come out of the brush. Gravity's pulling that paint down towards the tip of the brush. When it likes to puddle, you can kind of push that around. Soak it up, put it somewhere else. All right. Losing a little bit of water right there. It's absorbing, so let's kind of hustle. Get as much of this in there as possible. This is a start. It's kind of a boring looking painting right now. I'm gonna try to drop in some yellows. That should kind of bring a little bit of life to it. I'm choosing kind of an analogous color palette here. Not happy with the greens. This is a little touch point where I can show you guys when something gets that bad from just some mixing or just not transporting your palette well to and from, you might have to do a little surgery. And let's get that green out of there. Okay, it could be from this falling into that. That's gonna make a big difference cleaning that up a little bit. Okay. Give my brush a little wash. Try to get that green out of there. Lift that out. Put that on the paper towel. See if we can't wake up this yellow again. Still a little bit orangey. Clean that up a little bit more. Off screen, sorry, but you get the idea. Drop washes are interesting because if you can hit the high points of your paper, they'll just disperse kind of in a radial effect. Here I've got these two kind of troughs happening. You might like that. I sometimes will soak that up and put it other places. I think it's already got kind of a cool abstracted flower kind of floral thing going on here. I haven't used magenta yet. Do I dare? Well, these corners look like they could use that. That's that darker kind of red. It's got a little bit of blue in it. If it doesn't move, it needs water. There we go. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. It's just sort of abstracted on its own. Don't even need plastic wrap. Okay, but I am gonna add it now. And I would not add plastic wrap until this is really laden down with lots of pigment. Okay, this is good. You can see my other examples, just tons of blue on there. I just used 2 blues. Got a couple things going a little bit light there, black, green, and yellow. So pick a palette. I'm happy with the results. You can see I've done something maybe like that, but I'm liking the direction this is going. I'm gonna use my paper towel before the plastic real quick, just clean this up. I don't want any chance of that getting on anything else on accident. Big puddle right there. Soak that up. Looks good. Now time for some plastic, okay? So this stuff, just peel yourself off a piece bigger than your painting. That should do. Do this somewhere else. Don't do it right over your painting, but just for the sake of the video here. Right. Cut that. Try not to let it ball up. We'll put this back on the front table for other people to use. And you can lay this on there real flat. You can crumple it up, do different things. I think I'm just gonna kind of make this pattern a little bit tight today and close to the painting. If you get a bigger piece, you can actually crunch it even more. Now, what you don't want to do is, I don't like that, peel it off, throw it away. It will have blended your painting. So leave it alone, but at this point, you can kind of make it do different things. You can cause bigger pockets of air under there or get it closer for tighter details. Like I suggested, I want more touch points. You can already see the dark outlines that that's creating. I really enjoyed coming back in to my green painting to put this pattern in there with ink. I just enjoy doing that. Maybe I'll do something with paint this time. You can pinch it. This looks like a good pinch point right there. Very nice. There's no plastic right there. Just kind of cover that. There we go. So where it's touching, it's really dark. Where it's light are these bubbles, and they're creating these abstractions. Really interesting. And then where the edge meet the paint is piled up and making these outlines. This is gonna be really cool tomorrow when I peel this off. I'm just gonna get this out of the way, and I'm gonna move on to my Galaxy painting. Yes, you can peel this off. You can peel that off on Monday, okay? Give it a whole day to dry. And another thing you can do Monday if you're brave, I know it's upside down for now, but you real carefully, you can start to peel these off with your fingertip, okay? You can also use an eraser, which I've done before. If your kit has an eraser, great, but just move through and remove the stars. Once in a while, that's gonna get dirty, so I'll just dip it in my water, clean that off on a paper towel. You have to do that or you'll start using a dirty finger and it'll make your stars dark. That doesn't make sense, like that. There we go. It's really satisfying when you get these things to peel off. I'm having trouble here. You can use the eraser. It's kind of being stubborn here. There we go. In a groove there. Let's just keep going. Looks good. So fast forward. And you'll get those stars to come off, or that latex to come off, and you'll get a lot of the latex on there, so just brush that off. Take your time and work your way through your Galaxy painting to remove. You can feel that stuff where it's at. It comes right off. The ones that still have it on there kind of look yellowish. All right, so that's that corner, okay? And a little fun note, I know it's upside down, but some of the stars on my paintings actually took the eraser and sort of forcefully removed the paint around it. Let's use this one. Just to give some of those stars a little glow, a little halo. Not all of them, but it's kind of a fun little effect. Kind of a nod to the Starry Night painting. I wonder if that's showing up in that video there. This one's bright, so let's just go around that. Yeah, might be kind of cool. especially if you think of a constellation or something. All right, I'm getting distracted. Let's do the next wash, the last one for today, and it's the Galaxy wash. This wash is really straightforward, to be honest. It's a lot like this one right here, and that's a finished product. We're gonna splatter white acrylic paint on this after it's cut out. So we're a long ways from the stars. Kind of got some star paintings here. This one's a drop wash, as if you're laying on your back looking at the stars, okay, the cosmos, or you're looking through satellite imagery. It's a simple abstracted painting, a little bit objective because we've got the stars in there. Here's some samples. This was white acrylic that was watered down, so they're kind of light. This was tempera paint, so it's a really soft looking painting. The stars look a lot softer. This was last quarters. Turned out really cool. Again, you can sign it, you know, whatever way you want to orient it. These last two are turned into landscapes, which is really fun. So after I had it dry, I kind of looked at it and I went, you know what? The bottom of this is really boring. So I painted in a really tiny little landscape in just black. And it really gave this a whole new meaning, okay? Not that you would see that at night, but it just created kind of a base for it, a place for this to be called the bottom. I like that a lot. And this one I did horizontally, same thing. This is a crazy painting. I accidentally dripped water on the last day, and I tried to lift it off with my paper towel and it was too late. So be careful not to drip water on any of these paintings, or that's what's gonna happen. But I was able to put in a little landscape on this as well. Easy to paint. Again, some reference images will be on the whiteboard. These are photographs from satellites of galaxies. So you can see your palette again is black. These two paintings will not have black. We're gonna have something a really rich, warm summer day on this painting, and greens and boundary waters-ish feels. This one's gonna be hot, beach, urban, desert, something with a really warm palette. But you can see some cool examples here. I like these turquoises in there. This one kind of inspired me for the landscape on the bottom. Okay, so the cosmos or galaxy painting, let's do it. Really simple. I'm gonna pre-wet my paper here. The sponge. Make sure my tape's down. Okay, give that a chance to soak up. You can literally, I'm kind of at an angle here. I can see the paper soaking up the water. It's exactly what I want to do. If you didn't have these watercolors moving very good, you probably didn't have enough water. If they moved and you got big troughs, you had too much water. So kind of learn how do you manage this. I think I'm in a good space here. I don't know if you can see the shine on that. Okay, so we're gonna drop in a lot of black, which I've pre-wet, so we should get a lot of result here out of this. Those of you with new watercolor sets, if you pre-wet this, you're gonna have no problem on this painting whatsoever. A lot of it's black. I do leave little gaps for some other galaxy-like colors, but I tend to kind of work around the edges. I've used the word vignette. I think you know what I mean. It's kind of like a frame of value or darkness. It pushes you into the center. Really cool things happening here. Almost like a cool smoke effect. So let's just kind of run with that. Keep adding water. Need it to move. Just drop that in. Wow, this is really something in here, the way it's kind of doing that. So I'm not gonna mess with that too much. I do wanna get the black out of here completely so that things like magenta will show. Drop that in. I'm trying not to like paint too much. I just want the paints to sort of paint themselves. I gotta get them on the paper, but let gravity, let the water kind of do its thing, all right? You can tell I'm kind of hinting at maybe where it could go. New color. Let's try this cobalt blue. It's a great color. for this painting. It's kind of dramatic. Notice I'm being intentional to try to get this in the gaps. I'm washing my brush a little bit each time because I don't want to take that black brush into this light color. Trying to preserve it. Oh, that's nice. And I'm going to move into some just darker blues here in these gaps just a little bit. It's almost too light, so we'll sort of mess with that. I got something really crazy right there, so I'm just sort of be patient with that. Looks good. Wow. Really dark in these corners. That's okay. Fast forward and you're gonna see that I'll have some, some of those stars that I'll splatter brush on there with acrylic, which look really good. And I'll show you guys how to do that later. Like the last painting, just gonna use a paper towel here to make sure I don't have too much excess just sitting here on the plastic tape, which will never, it'll take forever to dry. And I don't wanna get any of that on anything else. Just gonna clean that up. Really nice washes. Yours is gonna have a feel to it. If it's not dark, you just don't have enough pigment. Okay, you might have too much water. But that's our Galaxy wash and our plastic wrap. They look great. I'm happy with the results. Again, with time left on your hands, you are gonna move back into these two paintings